Hey, my name is James Fiddler. I own Fiddler's Ranch, fiddlersranch.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and anywhere else you can find us. Listen, we got the playoffs coming up. We got the AFC, NFC championship game coming up and the Super Bowl coming up. So I'm going to teach you how to make a real basic pizza. It's going to have some real high quality ingredients. It's going to be a handmade, homemade from scratch pizza sauce, and it's going to come together real good, real cheap, and it's going to be just perfect for that game. And so check it out. Hey, so today we're going to take some of these San Marzano tomatoes that are out of Italy. These things are amazing. Typically, I go with the peeled whole tomatoes. I did apparently get the chef's cut, so they're maybe a little bit smaller slices, but that's okay. And we're going to take some garlic, a little bit of tomato paste, a little bit of sugar, some crushed red pepper, and some olive oil, and we're going to make our own pizza sauce. And then we're going to take some pepperoni, a little bit of Mishima Reserve ground Wagyu beef, which if you haven't seen my Smash Burger episode, man, I tell you what, this thing, you live and die by. This is some amazing stuff. And then, when I go to make, pizza, I go to the counter instead of buying the pre shredded cheese that has the powder on it, which is not preferred. And I go to the counter and I don't know if you can see it, but I get the whole milk mozzarella cheese in block. This is a far better cheese. It makes a huge difference on your pizza. And so I go with that one right there. It runs about $6 a pound. But you don't need that much. I ended up getting a couple of pounds of it because we're going to be making more than just the one pizza today. But these are the ingredients that we're going to use. It's just going to be a basic hamburger pepperoni cheese pizza with a homemade sauce. You could go with homemade pizza dough. That's not my forte. I could have gone with a raw dough that I baked myself or that I cooked, roll it out and cook it. But I'm going to be honest with you. At the end of the day, you're focused on the game. The other ingredients are so amazing that I think this something like this right here is easy. It's affordable, and 2 come per package. So it's a nice way to knock out just a quick pizza. And the sauce that you make will last a little while in the fridge, so you can make it enough, for leftovers. So that's what we're gonna make, and so let's get started. All right, so I'm just gonna basically take off about. This is a 2-pound piece of mozzarella, so that's going to give us a pound. We're probably going to go just a little over half a pound, and shred that up while our Wagyu is browning. That's just perfect right there. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, unless you want to consider it when it's done. It really helps if it's colder, not the temperature of the cheese. It's actually pretty cold out today. Cold enough for Kyle and Brian to complain about it throughout the night. Act like it's northern Alaska or something. Nice chilly day in central Texas. Had snow on the ground about 3 or 4 days ago. Nice change of pace for our normally warm winter days. There you go. About a half a pound or so, maybe 6/10 of a pound. of whole milk shredded mozzarella cheese. Perfect for our pizza today. All right, so we're gonna start off our sauce with some of these San Marzano tomatoes. I usually get I always get the 15 ounce container. And so they come in bite-sized pieces. You know, typically these are whole tomatoes. And so what I'll do is I'll just run my hand through there and just squeeze them down. And what that does is a lot of people don't like the chunky potato pizza sauce. If you get the whole tomatoes, then this is kind of an easy task, and it makes it a little bit easier just to pull out each tomato as a whole. It's the same as running it through a blender. The difference between running it through a blender and running it through a processor and just squeezing it with your hands is it allows the pieces to be, I think, a more appropriate size for a pizza. It keeps it so that you don't end up making it too thin, which I think you can do for a pizza. One of the problems that I have with pizzas these days, and really, and it's like this at a lot of pizza places. They don't put enough sauce on, and the sauce is so thin. It's almost like it's painted on. You literally can pull the cheese back, and there's no sauce there. It's a little bit of red dye almost. So I think this is kind of a perfect way to make a pizza sauce, so that it's a really good homemade sauce. Like I said, I use these San Marzano tomatoes. You can use the Hunts. You can use the other brands. It doesn't really matter. You can even go with the fire roasted tomatoes to add a little bit of complexity to your pizza. Since mostly pizzas are generally made in a fire oven. But what this does, like I said, is just allows for the perfect texture, and you squeeze it up a few times, and you end up with something that's just not quite as chunky, but is just amazing. So we're gonna start with that, and then we're gonna add a few more ingredients, and we'll put this thing together. All right, so we're gonna take a couple of garlic cloves, and we're just gonna squeeze those bad boys in just like that. There's two things that my wife says you can't have too much of, and that's salt and garlic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of extra in, because I know she likes that. And well, I'm gonna try to put some of it in. Sometimes I miss. You know what? There we go. All right, so we put what, three cloves in, equivalent to 2 large cloves, and then we're going to go with a little bit of crushed red pepper, about a teaspoon, and about a teaspoon or so of oregano. That's about a teaspoon right there. About a teaspoon or so of extra virgin olive oil. Because these are fresh tomatoes, definitely want to put about, it looks like a lot, it's not really that much, about 2 tablespoons or so of sugar. And then to add a little bit more tomato paste, we're going to do about 2 tablespoons or so about 1 tablespoon or so of tomato paste. And then we're going to stir that up. And we're going to bring this to a simmer. Let it simmer for about 10 minutes or so. Let those flavors just really mold together, blend together, and we'll be ready for our sauce. We'll be ready to put our pizza together. Okay, so one of the things I forgot to add was a little salt and pepper to taste. I believe I added 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and I needed to add 2, so I added an extra tablespoon of the tomato paste. And and now it's spot on, ready to go. Just gonna bring it to the simmer, and we'll bring it to a boil and then let it simmer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so we got our sauce done. Let's go ahead and put this together. That's what I'm talking about. I typically will let it cool off a little bit, but I tell you what, I'm just so anxious to get started on this here tonight. So, look at that. All the way to the edge. You put as much on there as you like. Some people just like to have just, you know, some people like to just sprinkle it on, teaspoon of sauce on their pizza. I don't get it, but one thing I learned is that I don't have to get it. All you have to do is like the way you've got it, and you're making it, so you make it however you want to make it. Tell you what though, using the whole milk mozzarella is the way to go, along with the Wagyu hamburger meat and the, I don't know, pepperoni. I don't know where pepperoni comes from. I do, but it's nothing special. This isn't Japanese pepperoni. This isn't South Texas pepperoni. This is HEB pepperoni. And around here, HEB works. HEB works. I don't know. I know we don't have any national chains here that I can think of. But in Texas, that's what everybody goes to. So that's what we use. And I feel like I'm just rambling now, which is good. That I'm about done with the pepperoni. Look at that. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Almost ready to eat like that. You know, I need to get one of those big old flat, fancy. Ooh, I'll tell you what, this is gonna be a piece of cake. Y'all thought I was gonna mess that up. All right, let's put that on the grill. Let's put the top on it. Let's let that cheese melt. And let's see what kind of beauty we got. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna just do a little bit more across the top just because I can. And why the hell not? There we go. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That, my friend, is a pizza waiting to be eaten. Cheese just bubbling up. It's just perfection. Oh, tell you what. Tell you what. Don't know if it gets any better than that. I think I've said that today. I don't know. I'll tell you what that does though. That's a pizza right there that is ready for a good old NFL playoff Cowboy victory.
They're not even in the Super Bowl. They're not even in the playoffs.
All right, that's fine. Go Texans.
They're not in the playoffs neither.
All right. Well, I think there's a couple of Texas quarterbacks playing each other this weekend when we play the Browns and the Chiefs. So go Texas quarterbacks. There we go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Can I say that? I'm not even sure.
He's talking about tobacco for the record.
I'm not even sure what that means. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I take a bite right now, but I kind of want to have my taste buds for tomorrow. So we're going to let that cool for just a minute. And we'll be right back. All right. I think it's cooled down enough to eat. Not. Oh my God, look at that. All right. Shit's amazing. You kidding me? The pepperoni, the whole milk mozzarella cheese, the wagyu, the homemade pizza sauce. It's amazing. Try it. Make it for your game. Make it to watch the playoffs. Make it to watch basketball. Make it to watch. Just make it to eat. You don't even have to be watching sports. Just make it to eat. Make it. Enjoy it. Share your pictures. Share your pictures of whatever you make and tell me what you think. Follow us. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the website. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. And just make it. Thanks.